Hello, everybody. So I thought I would make this video as a kind of peek into the work that I'm doing with this ollama-ai provider v2. For some context, Ollama provide AI provider v2 is a kind of carrying the torch on um, from Ollama AI provider, which is this one. No, it's not that one. Let's see. Can we see? Here it is. So, for even more context, Ollama AI Provider is a kind of interface, or like an adapter, you might call it, for the Vercel AI SDK. And the Vercel AI SDK is a library that you can use to speak with many different types of providers in a unified way. So you can basically speak with OpenAI, Azure AI, Google AI, Anthropic, and so on. And one of the options is to speak with Ollama. And there's this brilliant package that I've been using for months by S. Gomez called Ollama AI Provider. The unfortunate thing about it being that he hasn't been maintaining it for a while. So the last activity we can see is actually 5 months ago. There's a number of different issues open and pull requests that are open that were open a while ago. So I have created a successor, and there I am just working on like making it stable and nice to use. And I discovered this. This problem. So let's open up here. When I was chatting with my thinking model or reasoning model, Quen 3, I basically was outputting the thinking in the background, and I could see that there was something strange happening. If we look here, I'm outputting the thinking here in the background. So it starts off after we say handling stream object, we then see user said, "Hi, I need to respond appropriately, period. Let's start their greeting, period. Maybe say hello to be friendly." This seems a bit off. Usually it wouldn't say user said hi. And also this is not capitalized in the beginning. So I looked inside at the actual raw response that we're getting from Ollama. Here we can see localhost 11434. This is the signature of Ollama. And in the response, we can see here at these this JSON object, we get a lot of these JSON delta objects. We can see in the thinking, it says, okay, comma, the user said hi. So already there, we're missing something. And then it says, I need to respond appropriately, period. Let's start the greeting. I need to respond appropriately, period. Let's start the greeting. Let's start by acknowledging the greeting. Actually, it says out here. It's very, very small. I apologize. Also, I apologize for the ratio of my screen, which is terribly, terribly inconsiderate of everyone who's using normal screens. So let's start by acknowledging their greeting. And we actually have let's start their greeting. So what's happening here? I ran into an issue, a similar issue, with content. So basically, I could see that in the response here, we had sometimes words that were missing. And what I found was that Ollama, sometimes when it returns these JSON objects, it's a stream. It's these server sent or server side events that get streamed to the client. And sometimes it sends two JSON objects in one go. and it basically just tacks them one onto the other with a new line. And this isn't actually a valid JSON object. If we look at here, it's basically, if you have ever worked with JSON, this, you couldn't just say that this is you couldn't just save this in a .json file. This would be invalid. You would need to add it into an array because we have multiple elements. But it just arrives like this. And so we essentially end up in this kind of error situation. If we look at try here, this is where I've handled it with the content. So we end up here, chunk not success. Luckily, we have access to the raw response from Ollama. So we can actually dig into it, chunk.error.text. This will be our raw response. And then we say, okay, let's split it by this new line character. And then for each line, we go in, and if it's an empty line, we just continue. But if it's not an empty line, then we actually perform a JSON parse of that line. And so this is essentially, if I can go back here, this is essentially like we are now going through each line here, and we're saying we have two of these lines in one go. And we just split them out and then go through each one and just parse it, and then enqueue the result, as we're doing in our normal scenario down here, where we have this kind of text delta and reasoning. So what we're missing essentially is this part here for the reasoning. So the solution would be to add that in. Let's just format it nicely. And text delta wouldn't be delta.thinking, because now we're dealing with the raw response. So it's actually parsed dot message dot thinking. And the reason why it's that is that the raw object, which is this one, we say we'll dig into message, and then we'll dig into, instead of content, we say message dot thinking. So we get this field right here. And that's exactly what we want. So parsed the message thinking. Good. Now this should be the solution. So if we run a build of this project, then we can actually go in and go into our dist folder here from the ollama-ai-provider-v2, and then we can essentially go into our project, in this case Compass, Compass node modules, ollama-ai-provider-v2, and then go into that dist folder and then just swap out the contents. Just replace it like so. So if we now go in here and just give it a little refresh, we can start a new chat and say hi. That's the wrong key. So now we can see this is all of the output. And if we go to the top, let's just try to read through it and see if we can spot anything obvious. Now we see this OK comma. The user just said hi. I need to respond appropriately. Let me think about how to approach this. First, I should acknowledge the greeting. A simple hello or hi would be good. But maybe I can add a bit more to make the conversation engaging. I should check if there is any specific context or previous conversation that might influence my response. But since there is no history, I should keep it general. I need to make sure my response is friendly and open to further conversation. Maybe ask how I can assist them. Also, I should maintain a neutral and helpful tone. Avoid any technical jargon unless it's necessary. So, putting it all together, and then I think, hello, how can I assist you today? It's practicing its response here. Hello, how can I assist you today? That seems right. It's polite, friendly, and invites them to share what they need help with. And end of thinking. Great. And then we actually see the response in here. Hello, how can I assist you today? So it basically like really overthought the problem of someone saying hi and then ended up just saying hello, how can I assist you today? So that's great. It's great to see that we have that was basically flawless. I couldn't find any issue in there. There was nothing that seemed off. And I think that basically solved the problem. So as a last note, I would just encourage you to check out the project. If you've been using the Vercel AI SDK, maybe that's how you landed on this video. Um, then check out ollama-ai-provider-v2. I'm maintaining it, updating it on a regular basis, and also responding to pull requests. And so if you find any issues with it, if you see that there's anything at all, like weird bug going on or something that's missing, something like a new feature that just came out in Ollama and it's not there yet in this package, just open up an issue. Or if you want to give it a go, check out the code and then create a pull request like these guys have done. And I'll take a look at it and get it in there, hopefully, I mean, within a few days. Yeah, that was it for now. If you feel like checking out my other project called Compass, this is the interface that I'm using right here. It's actually kind of why I created this package here, because I'm building out an alternative to many of the great local AI user interfaces like Open Web UI and what's it? There's one called Jan and LM Studio. This is essentially another alternative. I think it's great to have more alternatives. It's written in React Native, which means that you should expect in the near future there'll be an app coming out with essentially the same interface and more or less the same features, but that you can use on your phone. It will come out on Android first, and then hopefully I mean, when they open up for side loading on iPhones, then I'll do it that way. Otherwise, I think it's something like you have to register and you have to pay Apple and so on, and it's kind of complicated. But yeah, check it out. It's got a few features, creating characters. There's this whole kind of drew inspiration from video game character creation screens where you can kind of tack through or like, you have this little dice you can click on and then essentially generate some personality based on these different traits and give it a name, and also model routing, so you can, if you have two different models and you kind of want to like route between them for some reason, maybe you want to transition from one to another, you can do that, or have a fallback model. Essentially, it's what it is. Attach documents and tools, create tools if you want. Yeah, give it a look if you want, and then that's it for now. Let me know if there's anything that you're missing from this video. Too much rambling, the aspect ratio being off. I don't think that I'll be changing that, but you can still let me know. And then until next time, if I feel like doing another one of these videos. Ciao.